Do it.
Hello, and welcome to Tales from the Backlog. My name is Steve Boshear, and I will be your narrator for this evening. It's fun to remember all the different versions of Game Master that all these games come up with. So that's me. I'm the narrator. Tonight we are playing Mistborn adventure game. Well, let's see. Let's introduce our players. Let's go around in a circle. We'll start to my left. There. That's you, Kenny. Oh, you're also muted.
Sorry, because you're not showing up on the
Oh,
on the Skype screen, so no worries.
I don't know why.
I'm
Oh,
Kenny.
wait. I do know why.
Okay.
There you go.
Ah, perfect. There we go.
To my left.
Do you want me to introduce myself and the character?
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll come back around to the crew after everyone's done.
Okay. So Kenny, I've known Steve since we were young kids, and so I'm glad to join the group in playing Mistborn. And I'll be playing a nobleman who's been forced to become a mercenary named Balhani Pepard.
So that's you next because of the circle.
Oh, I thought, okay, that kind of circle.
Yeah.
Not the,
That kind of goes
not
in a
going,
circle.
going clockwise, not Widdershins. Yep. Okay, hi, I'm Sarah. I am playing Matic, the Lurcher Transpose Specialist, which is a fancy way of saying I burn iron, and I'm a smuggler.
My name is Cody. I'm playing Zer Oa, steward to Z-O-R, I forgot their name. Z-O Sandwick. The heroic charlatan. I don't even know how to say this word. Terrorist and
Terrace.
Terrace?
the spellcaster thingy.
Oh, Ferrochemy.
Ferochemy.
You're a ferrochemist. Yes.
Yes, that one.
All
One
right,
typically
so
reads the Mistborn books. He doesn't listen to them.
yeah, I actually I did not read them either. I listened to them all on Audible, so I know how everything is pronounced, and I was surprised to learn how some things were spelled when we started reading the adventure book. Yeah, if you're not familiar with the Mistborn series, it's a bunch of fantasy novels by Brandon Sanderson, in which different magic systems exist, all based upon the use of various metals to achieve different effects. There's a lot of lore to get through. We're not going to recite it all right at the beginning, but yeah, it's complicated. Hey, Jason's in the chat calling out people. Now, here's the thing that I didn't know. I was not into gaming as a kid. I started when I was about 30. But I learned recently that Kenny and Jason used to game together back in Simi Valley. Wow. That was news to me. But that's cool. Someday you guys will have to be on the same stream. Mistborn. This is a world in which we have different races of people, and the races reflect your class in society. Nobles are high above everyone. Ska are the lower class people, and then there's the terracemen from the land of Terrace, who are somehow even lower than the lowest class people. They are always servants or stewards when they are outside of their homeland, and when they are in their homeland, they are subject to abuses. I don't know. Jason's making jokes in the Twitch chat that I don't get, but I'm sure they're hilarious. Anyway,
It's ska with two A's.
So as part of this game system, what we're supposed to do is set up our concept for a crew of, what would you call it? Ne'er-do-wells? A crew of people who are going to do something. And then, once we have the crew concept, we are supposed to build character concepts. We did that a little backwards. Everyone built their character already, and we're going to iron out the details of the crew right now. So let's get with that. What we were just discussing was, how long have you guys been together?
So if we've worked together longer than a year, then you guys get to know who Z.O. Sandwick is.
Then I think it's been 367 days, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly 367 days. I think one of the things we discussed, not to get too deep into, not to give away the whole game right away, but that I cannot remember your name. Balhani, I have to look to my right to remember. Balhani and I escaped from prison together. We're still debating if Zare joined us on that little escapade. But any thoughts, Kenny? I'm fine with...
Kenny's still muted. Or muted again.
No, no, we were just falsely accused of some crime that we didn't commit, and then we had to
I
escape
probably
from
committed
prison.
it. I'm sorry.
Do they know?
I may have been innocent of this one,
Right.
but yeah, we got scooped up on the same charge together, and
And we escaped.
conveniently, yes, promptly escaped
To the Luthadel Underground?
to the Luthadel Underground.
Right. Where if you can find them, and if you're lucky, you can hire them.
Yes, exactly.
So Zare, do you want to have joined us in the underground? Did we meet you in the underground, or were you?
I don't think I would have survived prison. So I'll just
We
have
weren't
meet
there
you.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you guys out, or I met you guys
Yeah.
on the way out. And
I
we've
like
been
it.
working together ever since.
Perfect.
I like it. So I feel
Alright.
like the heat's got to be off us a little bit. So I want to say it's been at least a year since the prison break.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
All right, so who is Mr. Z?
So Z.O. Sandwick, I'm supposedly serve him, is an alias that I go by because my whole objective is to become a folk hero to terrorist people so that they can have hope and believe that they don't have to live under oppression for the rest of their lives.
Nice.
I like it.
Cool. All right.
So Sandwick is a fake noble that supposedly Zare Owa belongs to as a steward. But there's no such person.
Oh, but there can be, right? Because Balhani Pepard is a master of disguises.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
And therefore, one of his disguises is to occasionally dress up as said fake nobleman when needed.
Yes.
See, I didn't know about that skill because I was gonna make the lie that I was put in your charge to serve you in your endeavors for the next indefinitely.
Right.
Well,
Well, that's also a convenient excuse, perhaps in a different situation.
yes.
Yeah.
Balhani is available to make appearances
Right.
as Sandwick, as the case may be required.
Now, Zare could not play this nobleman himself because terrorist people are recognizably physically different from other people. They are much taller.
Yeah. The double mohawk is kind of hard to hide.
Yeah, that too.
And how do you spell the guy's name? Just so I can keep it in my notes.
Z
Uh-huh.
and then O as if they were like initials,
Yeah.
and then Sandwick. Sandwick.
Perfect.
All right.
The Earl of Sandwick.
Nice. I was gonna, yeah.
I don't think that there are earls in this setting, but we can change that. Why
Yeah.
not?
There's kind of the Lord Ruler, and then everybody else is like a lord or a lady.
Yeah.
And then,
Cody
yeah.
asked me about that system earlier today, and I was trying to remember the books. I think that's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
there's no title other than Lord or God Emperor.
Yeah, pretty much. There's like, it's a very stratified society.
Yeah.
But yet
Very
very
full.
flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's only a few strats.
Yeah.
There's,
You're either God, or you're a lord, or you're a slave. But then
Yes.
there's tiers within slavedom.
Yes.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
All right. So
Yes.
I mentioned at the beginning that the magic systems in this game are based on the use of metals. There are 3 different magic systems. 2 of our players are using them. The main one is called allomancy, where you literally consume metals in small amounts and then burn them to produce effects. We have Matic. I'm gesturing. It looks like I'm gesturing to Kenny, but it's actually,
Yes. It's me.
yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, someone we
not that
game
long.
with once
Yes,
made me
I'm a
rearrange
misting,
it.
is
but
what we're
yeah.
getting to.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
a
a misting. Tell us
which
about
means I
your
have-
ability.
Out of the allomancy powers, where you have 8 metals? 16 metals?
16
16
total.
metals. When burning each one, meaning consuming them and using the magic, gives you a particular power. A Mistborn can use all 16, but a misting can only use 1. And that is what I am. I can burn iron, and that means I can pull metal, all metal, not just iron, towards me.
Yes.
I can't push it.
Cannot push it. That's
Yes.
steel. If you
I can-
burn steel, you can push it, but she can't burn steel.
That's why I have a big wooden shield.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Yep.
there is a law of momentum and everything. So pulling on the metal sometimes means you move instead of the metal moving.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, I can. If I see the metal, the iron burners are called lurchers, because I can point towards, oh hey, there's a big heavy metal door that's heavier than me, and just
Wow.
throw myself into the door.
Watch out for that chair.
Look out for the cat.
And
Okay.
Zareowa is a keeper, which is a completely different type of magician who uses a power called ferrochemy. Why don't you tell us what you know about ferrochemy, Cody?
Someone who didn't read any of the books. Ferrochemy is a deep ancestral not birthright, but it's a deeply cultural tied magical practice that is like only my race can do it. And you either are a keeper or you like don't do it at all, is what I gathered from reading the rules. So you either get all the powers, meaning you're like you can just control all of it, or you got none of it. I can store properties of my being into metal objects to call upon them later. The most exciting one that I have, I believe, is copper, because you can store any memory into them, whether that's a skill, a location, a plan, or event, and then I can tap them is the word that they use to perfectly recall them, as if you were re-downloading your own memories. And other metals have different properties. I have zinc, steel, iron, and copper which will come into play later.
Yes. And the interesting thing about copper mines is that a memory stored in copper will not degrade or change over time the way it would if you kept it in your meat brain. But the downside is, while it's stored in there, you don't have it. So whatever's stored in your copper mind, you can't remember without tapping the copper mind. And that goes for all the other attributes you might store in metal as a ferrochemist. So, and then of course Balhani Papard is rich.
Yes.
We got Batman.
He has no powers beyond that of his mind and his resources, right?
Yes.
This was entirely on purpose, as to not have to learn the magic system, but as well it fit with my character.
Yes.
Outstanding.
So so he is a not very physically fit individual. He's a bit older, grayed hair, but he gets by on his mind and his charms.
I'll bet he does. Does he smoke a lot?
He does. He perpetually has a cigar when he's not walking around with his dueling cane and a monocle.
Outstanding. All right. So let's name the team. What are you guys thinking? Like the Alpha Squad or something like that?
I was going to say the Aleph. I don't know. I was going to say the Aleph team, honestly, but I kind of like squad. Team, squad, group.
See, they really
plan.
like doing an A-team bit.
Yes.
But
We've
apparently
been doing an 18 bit, so.
Yeah, I think Cody's younger than my mustache.
He's not.
Steve, that's
He's
fine.
not. He's not.
You're not.
But only because I didn't grow a mustache right away. No, what was I going to say? Maybe what we need to do is like Balhani and the Pussycats.
Let's see. I don't know enough about the world to kind of make an in-game reference.
Same. Well, it seems like we're definitely a fixer crew. I'm also super heavy on resources and influence, though mine is entirely within the criminal underworld. And
So if we're, I got it. So two of our spellcasters use iron, and that's one of their primary like attributes. Ironclad Rush. So it fits that steampunk industrial era theme. Ironclad's like a boat. Oh, did I say rush? Yeah,
Yes.
and then rush because we're fixers and we give people their next high.
And
Right.
also because you, Zare Owa, have a couple different metals that you use related to speed, right?
Yeah, that is very true.
I like it.
I like it.
It does
By the
sound like a
way-
ska band name.
Um,
Ironclad Rush.
Maddock, quick question. Can you launch other beings that are like are other entities of iron? Like if I'm wearing an iron like suit of armor, can you launch me like a missile at somebody?
No, I can pull you towards me and pull you into myself.
However,
Pull you
were she
physically-
to yank you really hard and then let go and move,
Yep.
you'd go right
Yeah.
past her.
Yes.
That is
or
fantastic.
or if I have a grappling hook, my friends. If I get myself up onto the top of a building, I can pull you up with me.
Oh,
You can
Cool.
fly, baby.
Yeah.
So I can make myself very heavy. Meaning we can
Oh.
totally do a human catapult thing.
Well, if you make yourself too heavy, then I go to you, because I am 5'8" and skinny as a beanpole, 130 pounds. So I should mention that, yeah.
But
If I'm trying to pull towards an object and it's heavier than me, I go to it. It does not come to me.
but Zare Owa can also do the opposite.
Yes.
If you are actively storing your weight instead of tapping it, then you weigh less.
Yep. This is going to be very cool.
It will be
Yeah.
very fun.
Yeah, there are some. I highly recommend these novels. There are some very cool action scenes involving someone changing their weight on the fly to alter how they physically react to their environment during the fight.
nice.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's. I probably should actually have a weight, considering it's going to come up.
It is going to come up a lot.
Just use your real weight and add 50 pounds because you're like 8 feet tall.
Okay. What is that? All right,
Yeah.
we're 260.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
usually
what-
figuring out your look is like cosmetic. In this game, it's like, okay, do I want to be big or do I want to be small? Because this is going to really affect how I
Yes.
play.
Yeah. Okay. Is my age going to matter?
No,
No.
only in
just make
the
it-
just cosmetically.
Just, yeah, in roleplay maybe, but
Yeah.
not in...
Okay. Okay. Well.
All right, so we're Ironclad Rush. What is our cause? I guess is fixers. We fix.
Well, Zare has a very distinct personal cause, which is to
Yeah.
improve the status of his people in society. But
Yes.
as for you guys as a whole, it's up to you whether that is the group's cause.
Yeah, my cause is create chaos and screw over the nobility. So
Well, that's compatible.
yeah,
Yeah. And I guess
Present
Balhani,
company
stripped
accepted.
of his
Yes.
noble heritage, says, well, if he's going to be stripped of his heritage, might as well bring the whole system down.
there you go.
We're just a bunch of anarchists. Where's Carolynn when you need her?
In school.
Yeah, I know. Wait. So you got kicked off like the inheritance, but you got to keep the money? What's the deal with that? How
Hey,
did you manage that one?
again, I'm a well-organized planner, military tactician. You always sock money away in accounts that your family doesn't know about.
It's
Makes
probably why
sense
you
to
got
me.
kicked out in the first place.
Doing it.
There's always money in the banana cart.
Yeah.
Have you been embezzling? No.
It was my allowance.
He's been saving his allowance for 40
Okay.
years.
So you guys are headquartered in the imperial capital city of Luthadel, right under the very nose of all of the most powerful noble houses and the Lord Ruler himself. You, along with many other criminals and scumbags, make your home in the Ska districts of Luthadel. It's a big city full of rich and poor alike, where the Steel Ministry is headquartered as well. That is the sort of religious Inquisition order that runs the religion dedicated to the Lord Ruler, who is the 1,000-year-old emperor of all mankind. Overthrowing the system it kind of doesn't happen because of him, is the impression. So, if you guys are anarchists, you're literally picking a fight with God as far as this culture is concerned. Good luck with that.
To that point, my sheer existence is going against the will of God.
Yes.
Mine
yes.
too.
Yeah, that's the first entry in your copper mind, right? I live to spite God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Hers too, because Ska are not supposed to have allomantic powers.
Nope.
It is supposed to be only for the nobles, but Ska have them anyway because the nobles sometimes do things they're not supposed to, romantically speaking.
Hanky panky.
Yes. So, so the city is your typical huge city full of various kinds of people, and as long as you keep your heads down, you're able to pull your various jobs without attracting too much attention. But one day, something happens that might make things a little more difficult for everyone involved. Before I describe to you what that is, why don't you guys tell me what you're each doing on an average day when you don't currently have a job?
I run a very extravagantly dramatic shop where I sell ill-gotten goods.
Nice.
And I also use that as a cover to free slaves.
Oh, you doing like an Underground Railroad thing there?
Absolutely. Ties into my tragic backstory.
Great. I mean, there's not really any place they can go to be free, but you can get them out of where they are. Sure.
Yeah.
That's
Not my problem.
Well, I am widely known to be bonkers, and I am constantly coming into your shop loudly offering you the deal of a lifetime on this amazing piece of garbage I just found on the street, and demanding so much of your time to check out this super cool broken down ottoman that if you just glue it back together and clean it off and, you know, maybe put some new fabric and some new wood and just rebuild it from scratch. And as I'm talking, I'm getting you to the back, and then I open it up and it's full of stolen jewels off of a noble person's nightstand that I have successfully transported into your shop as my fence.
Well done.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yes, I heavily cultivate my reputation for insanity because nobody ever asks me what I'm really doing. Not the important people.
And Balhani, where are you during all this?
So Balhani is generally coming in when he's not in the store. He is often at wherever our sort of hideout is, reading. Are there books in this world? I should have.
Yeah, there are books. Can we say that the back of the store is the hideout? Does that simplify?
I like it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when he's not out front, and I'll explain what he's doing out front, but when he's in back, he's reading as much, equivalent of military texts, histories that he can get his hands on to kind of come up with new ideas for master plans. And then to help sell the front of the store, he then spends time trying out new disguises, new personas by pretending to be customers coming into the store, and therefore helping sell the front, potentially convincing an unwitting customer to, maybe sell or buy something they normally shouldn't by, expressing a little bit too much interest in it or something to kind of convince them that they should buy it to help us keep the store going. But yeah, that's how he sort of keeps himself mentally astute, either as both using his disguises or studying military tactics.
I fail to recognize you every single time, and you genuinely don't know if I'm playing along or if I really don't recognize you. You're never quite sure.
So, to really help you practice, every time I store my memory that you do this into my copper mind and then remind myself afterwards to compare notes. And I give you really, really good feedback about this.
Nice.
This is brilliant. Okay, so Matic and Balhani, you guys have been out in the city today. Balhani, because you have been, of course, walking out to the street in a new costume every 40 to 50 minutes. And Matic, because you robbed a guy and now you've brought his goods back to the crummy part of town.
More of like a courier, I feel like, for other people. I carry their goods to the fence and then I carry their money back. But sure, I can rob this guy just to keep in practice.
Burgled. How about that?
I burgled.
You burgled a guy.
A little light burglary just to keep things interesting.
Well, Matic, while you were transporting goods, you happened to overhear a number of different whispered conversations from various people that you passed by. Things like, it happened right there by the fountain in the market. I saw it with my own eyes. I still can't believe it. And every time you look or pass too close by, everyone stops talking.
Is there... I want to find somebody I know. Using somebody I know in the crowd. My influence
I mean,
score?
it's a big city.
Oh, okay,
And you've
fair
been
enough.
keeping your head down on purpose because you
All right.
stole stuff. So there's nobody that you know right here. But you've been hearing these whispers kind of from all over town. And then Balhani, as you are out on the street in front of the shop, disguised as a broke nobleman desperately trying to pawn some goods, two obligators, which are sort of like the priests around here. They're functionaries in gray robes, low ranking, judging by the single ring of tattoos around their eyes. They are speaking in sharp tones to a terraceman steward on the street, someone you don't know. The steward is backed up to a wall by these two guys, and he's hanging their head. He's hanging his head, and he's answering their question in quiet, high-pitched tones, clearly terrified. Nearby, a man who must be the steward's noble master stands checking his pocket watch and tapping his foot impatiently, waiting for these obligators to finish questioning his steward.
Can I sort of shamble over as trying to pretend to be of like, oh, what am I doing here? I wasn't just about to hawk my wares, but looking at my own pocket watch, kind of walk over to the nobleman and kind of do sort of a glance, kind of look at his pocket watch. It's one of my props to kind of see if I can spark some sort of interest. Oh, nice watch you have there.
What? Yes, thank you.
What's happening? Did your steward do something?
No, certainly not. These obligators are just doing their job, I'm sure, but I need to be somewhere very shortly.
Well, where do you need to go? Can I help?
No, thank you. I can walk across the city on my own power.
Oh, no worries. Just trying to help out a friend. And then I'll just sort of, walk away, but kind of keep an eye on what's happening.
Before you get too far away, the obligators do move on reluctantly. They look angry and suspicious, but they do nothing to this terraceman. Maddock.
Mm-hmm.
As you are passing by a certain noble house in the last leg of your journey back to the Ska neighborhood where you guys have your headquarters, you see a group of noble children on a balcony overlooking the street with their mother standing behind them watching as they throw rotten fruit and other unpleasant items at a terrace steward who is walking by below. They're just pelting him with vegetables and fruit and making fun of him loudly. Their mother watching and doing nothing about it. Now, terracemen are not well respected in society, but this kind of overt abuse is not normal. At least not in public.
Just do a quick sweep of the area. Is anybody else reacting to this, or just...
People seem to be... Well, what's a good score here? Why don't you give me a wits roll?
Sure. So I just roll...
Yeah.
I have a 3 in wits.
Essentially, what you're doing here is like an insight check.
Yeah.
So if you have any traits or anything that you think might apply to give you more dice to this.
Nah. There's nothing in my traits that would have impact this.
Okay, go ahead and roll the 3 then.
Yeah. All right, so I've got a 6, a 5, and a 3.
Okay, so that's a failure, actually. But because you don't have any match sets. But your 6 is a nudge. So what you can do is use that 6 to positively impact your results. So you don't find out, what everyone's doing. But because you can nudge this situation a little bit better, you are able to infer that other people know why this is happening. They are studiously avoiding looking at the situation that you have witnessed. They are not staring aghast at the behavior of these children. They are not scandalized by the mother. They are doing their best to clear the area and look very busy doing something unrelated.
Okay. I am... So is that the result of my nudge? It goes away now? Because...
Yeah.
Okay. Well... as one of my character traits is, in fact, reckless, I'm carrying some stuff. So I am not going to drop it, but I'm going to, in my my standard character, I'm going to, without looking up, I'm going to shriek, "Free food! Free food!" and dash over and shove the terrace steward out of the way and try to catch the stuff as it's coming down. Like, oh, look, an onion! Woo!
The children stop throwing the stuff and just stare at you. They don't know, what to make of you. You've just kind of broken their worldview for a second.
I just go, "Aw," as not making eye contact, and I'll just pick up a couple things and kind of shuffle on.
Okay.
And never make eye contact, never look up.
All right. Well, then you can easily reach your destination back at the hideout / pawn shop.
I carefully add the rotting onion and the wilted lettuce to my oh gosh, what have I got this time? Like a bundle of old rags that somebody's thrown out.
Okay.
And I wrap them up very carefully as I'm walking along.
Now, Zara, you do not see anything like this because you are inside working the shop. But one thing that is unusual today is that not one single person other than Balhani has come into the shop all day.
You mean one stranger I didn't recognize?
Not anybody. Not anybody. Yeah.
And even on the slowest day, I still get at least some hoodlums walking in here trying to make a mess of the shop, right?
Sometimes, yeah. That's not an everyday occurrence, but yeah, I mean it is likely that people would not frequent the shop if they thought a terraceman was the owner, but if the image that's out there is that you're the help, you run the place but don't own the place.
Yeah, I run the place for Barrett or Earl
Sandwick.
Remember?
For Earl Sandwick, yeah. Lord Sandwick. So yeah, so you're good at it, and people know you and come in to sell things and buy things. But today that has not happened.
Okay. And my companions have just arrived, right?
Yes, I mean Balhani is more or less always close by, I guess, right? He's either in the back changing or he's out on the street headed in.
Or reading.
Yeah.
Reading, changing clothes.
And Matic is just returning from her job.
Yes.
Yeah. Noticeably quiet day.
Yeah, except for children throwing food at terracemen. Weird.
Is it?
Is it?
I don't think it's that weird.
I feel like I would have noticed if there was like food falling from the sky on a regular basis, but that's just me. Maybe it's been falling from the sky all along and I've just been blinded, lost in my own thoughts, caught up in my own imagination, thinking too hard. I should be more present in the moment. I need to think about this. And I hand you the stuff and sit down and just...
You said so much, I lost my comeback.
You have plenty of time to think of it because I'm just literally doing this.
Yeah.
Welcome to my life.
Hey! That's a character bit.
Yeah, I know. So, Balhani, you are in here as well.
Okay.
First customer of the day. How can I help you? Who are you, sir?
Yes. I'm George. I was just coming in to buy something. Do you happen to have any books?
Books. By books, we don't have any that we sell to new patrons we run the risk of being investigated by the obligators if we are seen with seditious material.
At that point,
Which we don't have any.
Right. Hannibal looks around. The store is empty, right? So he pops off his monocle, right, and pulls off his new hat that he happens to be wearing for this occasion to reveal who he really is.
I look up and I scream, "Ah!"
For you, I have all the seditious material in the world.
Yes. Been a slow day.
Another great disguise.
Well, honey, do children usually throw vegetables at terracemen?
Not to my knowledge.
See? I say
there-
too. Yeah, sorry.
Well, it happens to me regularly, so... Well, I'm pretty sure it happens to me regularly. I don't know if I've suppressed all those memories of my copper mind or not.
It really doesn't happen to you regularly. You are not, like, respected by people. But
Yeah.
because you routinely act as though you know your place, people don't just randomly throw vegetables at you on a typical day. And that's the case for all terracemen. So you would definitely, your reaction to this is appropriate. You'd be less surprised by this than they would, but at the same time, it's not an everyday occurrence.
Okay. Well, what do you do?
Well, Bahani, I'll say there was a very interesting exchange outside the store, and I don't know if it's distracting our customers, but it seemed that there were a pair of Inquisitors that were questioning a terroristman outside for no apparent reason.
I will correct the terminology on that. Just
sorry.
Not to be just a dickhead, but because there actually are also things called Inquisitors, and they're horrifying monsters.
Oops, sorry.
Steel Inquisitors have spikes through their eyes that come out the back of their heads, and they're just freaks. These guys were called Obligators.
Obligators. Sorry, I remember reading the word Inquisitor, so it just was popping out. There was a pair of Obligators.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And with just a separate terraceman than the one that the children were harassing?
I did not see any children around.
I didn't see any obligators.
That's peculiar.
There's something happening. Fountain. Something happened at the fountain. No one would tell me. It was very annoying.
Well, why don't we close shop and go for a walk?
Sounds good to me. Let me get changed. I'll be right out.
Yes, we need to see if any obligators will come interrogate Zare, or children will throw vegetables at him.
Well,
Great idea, Zare.
while Balhani is in the back changing disguises, you actually receive a visit. Someone comes to the front door. You've already locked it, planning to go out, and because it's getting kind of late. So he tries the door and then knocks.
What race is this guy? Not to
Not to be racist.
By his dress and manner, he appears to be a ska.
Yeah, I'll let him in.
Okay. Okay.
Is it a regular? Do I recognize this gentleman or lady?
He's familiar, but you don't personally know him.
And also, I have a question about the world setting. It should be very much a secret thing that I'm a keeper, right?
Yes. The fact that keepers exist is not widely known.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Yeah. Most people would not know this. You might suspect it, but the fact that Feruchemy exists and only exists among Terracemen is the reason the Lord Emperor has spent 1,000 years abusing your people. He's trying to get rid of Feruchemy, but for reasons unknown does not want to simply eradicate your people. So it's complex.
Okay.
But to everyone else, that would be news.
Yeah. Okay. We're about to close for the day. What can I do for you?
He does not look at you, Zare. He actually addresses Matic. And he says, "Good evening, good steward, good woman. My name's Tvigger, and I come to you with a proposition from a friend."
Come in. I close the door and I lock him inside and I pull out the broken ottoman from earlier
Yes.
that the glue has not set to re-put together.
I take it away again. The glue hasn't set.
He was just about to sit down, and then you pull it away, and he's like, "What?"
I'm sorry, sir. Onion?
"No, thank you." He will now turn and address Zare.
Yes. Proposition for her, or if you have business with Sandwick himself, he's not here at the moment.
Yes, Sandwick. I couldn't find him. We looked, my friends and I. He's not an easy man to find, nor are the rest of you.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? We're right here.
Well, I'm a man who prides himself on finding things that are well hidden. And the fact that you were so difficult to track down speaks well of you. It shows you understand privacy and the value of discretion. These are traits that my friends also value. Friends who would very much like to be your friends. Balhani, you may enter from the back at any point here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so Balhani is not here. In fact, Lord Sandwick himself will step out from the back and say, "Well, yes, you must be very astute searchers yourself to have found my location. What is it that we could do for you?"
Well, as I mentioned a moment ago, I come to you, all of you, with a proposition. One that can be very profitable for you and help you with your other endeavors. My friends need help finding someone. A terraceman. No doubt you've heard the rumors of a steward who raised a hand against an obligator. a Prevails no less, and struck him down. No matter how preposterous such a thing may seem, I assure you, it is true. It happened yesterday in the ska markets near the Copper Gate. The victim is Prevails Vedes, a lifelong servant of the Lord Ruler. He was slain with a kitchen knife wielded by a terrace steward named Golwill over his afternoon tea. After this was done, Golwill fled, and that was the last time anyone saw him. No one knows why Golwill would do such a thing. The crime has become a major scandal. The blow to the Steel Ministry has them in a furor. The Steel Ministry is the religious organization that the obligators work for. They've dispatched obligators to all the city's great houses to interrogate the stewards for signs of heresy or rebellion. The nobles themselves have suddenly become quite nervous. After all, if one terraceman can take a blade to a lord obligator, what's to stop another from slipping some black frane or gurwraith into a nobleman's tea, or putting a pillow over his face during the night? And that says nothing for the message this might send the ska. Yes, the only thing we can count on now is that the Lord Ruler will act soon, and his vengeance will be swift and hard. That's where you come in. My friends, our friends, need help finding Golwill. Our friends assume he has fled the city, but they know not which direction he may have taken, nor who he might choose to refuge with. Because Golwill was also a man who understood privacy and the value of discretion. Our friends have resources, valuable ones, but cannot risk showing their hand at this point in the game. Their hope is that finding him before the Lord Ruler does may help diffuse the situation before it spirals out of control. So with this, Telvigor produces a small velvet pouch from his jacket pocket. It makes a little clinking sound, and he drops it on the tabletop. He says, "Our friends understand this task may not be easy, and that you will need to use your best discretion to avoid danger. Those are 3 nuggets of atium, a fortune to many. Take the job, and they are yours to do with as you like. Finish the job, and there are more waiting for you. The paper inside contains a few pieces of information our friends thought might help you get started. I've not read it, but our friends are certain that they will help. I trust their judgment, and you should too." So at this point, he stands up and straightens his waistcoat, puts on his hat as though he's about to leave.
What do our good friends want to do with Mr. Golwill once we locate him? Do they want us to bring him in dead or alive?
Alive is preferable. It is best that we return him to the Lord Ruler's justice without a lengthy and costly search. Allowing the authorities to make an example of this murderer will avoid them having to take more drastic steps that nobody wants to see.
Interesting. So Balhani's thinking it over because he's pretty sure he knows where Zer is going to come down on hunting down a fellow terraceman. So Balhani's trying to think of a way to figure out, how can they take this mission and yet somehow, not fulfill it per se, if in the terms of turning over said terroristmen to the authorities.
Yeah. Quick question for world building. We specified that our crew is for hire. I assume that the people who hire us are generally people with money, or is this new? Would this be out of the ordinary to be approached by somebody aligned with the nobility?
He didn't say he was aligned with the nobility.
Sorry. Aligned with the Lord Ruler's justice, I'll say.
He didn't say he was that either. His justification for wanting this done is that it will avoid
Right.
worse solutions.
Or potentially more scrutiny of whatever illicit activities his patrons.
Yeah.
If he's anything like the Emperor of Man from 40K, he'll burn down the whole town for something like this.
Well, you say town. Let me show you the world map.
We're in the capital. I know you said that earlier.
Yeah.
But if he's anything like the Emperor of Man, he kills everybody for something like that.
So, yeah, you're not wrong, and that's what this guy means. So, number 1 here on the map is Luthadel. That's the city you're in. Mm-hmm. The Terrace people come from that dominance way up north, the Terrace dominance. And that country is ruled with an iron fist by the Steel Ministry on behalf of the Lord Ruler. Being a terraceman in Terrace does not mean you are free. It means there's more of your people around and you probably don't have to work as a steward, but yeah, the implication here is that the Lord Ruler's people may march on Terrace if this guy isn't caught.
Yeah. Okay. I actually have 2 things. The pieces of atium, is it big enough to, not for me, but is it big enough for someone to use it for the fuel chemi if someone wanted to store their age in it?
Are you asking him this question out loud?
No, I'm just looking at the piece. Or did he not produce it?
Well, you guys never opened the bag, but he told you it's in there. Yeah, there's
I pick it up and open it.
There are 3 good-sized nuggets of atium.
Pick it up.
Definitely you could use them for that, yes.
Okay. Second thing, totally off topic. If you were going to try and totally wipe out a cultural identity of somebody, you wouldn't name a landmass out of them. Come on.
Can take that up with Mr. Sanderson.
Yeah, yet another mystery about the Lord Ruler's actions and motivations. Mm-hmm. If you want to erase these people and what they can do, why not simply kill them all? Why do what he's done? Nobody knows.
But I think, out loud, Balhani will say, well, I think for at least 3 nuggets we can take the job and start to explore and figure out what happened.
Very well. I shall leave you to it then. If you need any questions answered or you have anything to report, draw an X on the bottom right panel of that window on your shop. I'll see it and contact you that night.
Very good. And I'll sort of escort him out the store unless you want to do something.
As he goes, can I do another check? Can I do an influence? I don't know if this is an influence roll to see if I recognize him. Because this would be kind of, if he's a ska and he's sort of underworld, this would be somewhere that I have.
Yeah, do a roll.
I'm going to do a roll. And
do you have anything that might apply to give you more dice?
I don't know if my profession is a smuggler or my specialty is transportation means I would have an advantage.
The smuggler one would.
Okay.
Add a dice for that.
All right.
Any match sets? You've rolled everything.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got.
No, you don't know this guy.
I have the nudge.
The nudge. I'm gonna have to look up the nudges. I feel like you're not supposed to be able to save them for later, but maybe you can. in this case, we'll say that nudge means. Well, I already told you guys that you've seen him around but don't know him.
I'm taking a closer look as he's going towards the door. They open the door. The light hits his face.
Oh, the door's locked. I haven't unlocked the door yet.
Oh.
Well, okay. He goes for it and then stands and waits patiently.
I take a bite of the rotting onion, and I'm like...
Okay, when you do that, he makes a little disgusted face that you realize you actually have seen before.
That's the face people make when they see me.
Yeah, this guy is. You have seen him in the company of a couple of other guys that you happen to know, who are professional arrangers of jobs.
Okay.
Middlemen, if you will.
Alrighty.
And then as he goes up towards the door, I say, "What? You know, this sounds like this job is going to require a lot of extra care, and that may tap into our resources. 4 nuggets would go a lot further."
He laughs on his way out.
Yeah.
ATM is like insanely expensive.
Okay.
Like
Hey.
what you have here could buy the city block that you're in. The use of it in Allomancy for a Mistborn, it allows them to see a few seconds into the future while they burn it. This makes them, especially if they're fighting someone who's not burning ATM, which they almost always are, this makes them basically unstoppable in a fight.
Wow.
A ferrochemist like Zare can store his youth in it. And this will change his appearance and his body. While he's actively storing it, he will look older than he is. And while he's tapping it, he'll look younger.
Cool.
It's a temporal metal.
It is the shiny, special unobtainium of
So
this world.
yes, it is. It is one of the unobtainiums. There are a few.
Unobtainium, superrarium.
Yeah. The books are interesting.
Extra
At
shiny.
the point in time in which our story is set, this is the rarest one that is known. There are others yet to be discovered.
All right.
So again, after has the gentleman left the store?
Well, I don't know. Did Zari unlock the door?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, he's gone. You guys, you opened the bag, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
I
there
opened
is
the bag
also
and dumped it out like marbles.
There is also a note in there which he mentioned. Here's the note, and I thought this was legible when I made it, but I realize now it's not. So I'll just read it to you. Yeah, I'll just take that down. It's absurd. So on the paper, it says what we know. It's all in shorthand, abbreviated. It says, G, for Golwill, served Larice Venture, a distant relation to Lord Straff Venture. Servants must know more. Tell LV, for Larice Venture, that you're a friend of Darris Hastings. 2. G visited North Dominion Shipping Company approximately 1 week ago. Reason unknown. 3. G was a regular shopper at Coppergate Market. Witnesses: tea merchant next to the fountain, Slim Tim the beggar. 4. The Canton of Orthodoxy has records on V. Connection between G and V? Question mark.
Can you repeat the last bullet?
The Canton of Orthodoxy has records on V for Venture. Connection between G and V? Question mark.
All right. And G was a regular shopper at the market near the fountain.
Yeah, the Copper Gate Market, which is a market near the Copper Gate.
We have a tea merchant and a Slim Tim the beggar as witnesses. He also is a regular at the North Dominion Trading Company. He served Ventura and tell them that he is a friend of Hastings.
Yeah, you're a friend of Darris Hastings, is what it says.
Hastings.
And the particular Venture in question is Larice Venture, who is a distant relation to Lord Straff Venture, who you know is the head of House Venture. So this is someone who is distantly related to the head of the house.
And the name Darris Hastings, does that ring a bell to us at all?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So here's what you guys do know without needing to ask. As I mentioned when I showed you the map here, the Terrace people live up there in the Terrace Dominance, where the Lord Ruler has exiled them long ago. All Terrace stewards are eunuchs, bred and trained from young children to be docile servants of the nobility. No one has ever heard of a steward raising his hand against a nobleman, much less an obligator. That a terraceman would be so bold as to slay an obligator in broad daylight is unthinkable in the extreme, even to other terracemen in the crew like Zare. The Steel Ministry, as I mentioned, is the Lord Ruler's priesthood and police force. It coordinates with the Imperial Army and noble houses to root out heresy and quash dissent. The Steel Inquisitors, which I mentioned earlier with the spikes through their eyes, are its most ferocious agents. A Prelun, which is what the dead man was said to have been, is a high-ranking member of the Steel Ministry, the equivalent of a major in military terms or a cardinal in Catholicism. The death of a Prelun is always an important event, accompanied by processions and fanfare in their honor. Violent deaths of obligators at this level are rarely, if ever, heard of. And then Zare, I sent you privately some additional items that you personally know, which you may choose to share with the others if it becomes relevant.
Where did you send these to me?
In Discord earlier today. Remember, I sent you a screenshot.
Okay.
Of
Okay, I was
bullet
making
points.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I have those ready. Okay.
So those are the things you guys know.
So Balhani will sort of, knowing the layout of the city, will kind of try and make a plan of seeing, which way would be the fastest to go. Would it be faster to go to the market or the shipping company?
From where you are, the markets.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the Canton of Orthodoxy, is that? You mentioned the.
It is. Yeah, it's a part of the church, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, Steve. Quick question about the Snod. Is that in favor or just de facto of the group of people they govern?
They are. Are you asking if you're in favor?
No, I'm asking if the Snod act in favor of that group of people, or just that's just who's in charge.
Okay, the Synod, Balhani and Matic don't know this. They're like the secret government of Terrace. They're the ones that all Terracemen acknowledge as their real sort of ruling council.
Yeah.
Their existence is probably known to the real government, but their location and membership is secret.
Yeah, so that means that they act against the Emperor.
Yes and no. strategy of the Synod and all terracemen is to keep your heads down. So, so yes and no. They can be said to be playing the long game, but whether that long game has an exit strategy is a matter for debate.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Talking about stuff just to confuse you guys.
Yeah.
No. It's,
No.
I'm sort of tracking.
Yeah,
You're not-
same.
I did read that background part, so
Okay, yeah. Player knowledge, not character knowledge.
Yes.
Right. Correct.
Okay. So,
Well-
that's what you know. What are you guys up to?
I am attempting to juggle the ATM, which doesn't work because it's not big enough.
Okay.
So it just keeps. Though I will say that I do have enough presence of mind to keep my hands over the table, so it hasn't rolled away yet.
Okay.
I'd like to catch one and take it.
Yeah. Okay, you can have one. Now, in
No.
terms of...
I don't notice, or at least I pretend like I don't.
Now, because of what your powers are, being a feruchemist and not an allomancer, you can use this ATM without expending it. However, as I mentioned earlier, it is also worth more than everything you guys own.
Oh, I don't plan on using it for that.
Okay.
We'll see if would I know if Galwill was a keeper by name?
No.
Okay.
But, yeah, I was just going to say that you're the only person in the crew, Zare, who has the ability to actually use it for any magical power stuff. But you guys could also sell it.
Yeah.
Well, could Zare use one of them for his powers, and then we use the other two for expenditures? Or does
So
he need all three?
He doesn't.
no, I can use the one. I actually am probably going to give it to Galwill. Is why I'm keeping it.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Guys, I posted a screenshot of the note that was in the bag to the Discord.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
So, in case there's anything missing from the notes you guys took by hand, there it is.
Cool. I say as I'm juggling, it's so weird. Like the guy said, he could have put poison in the tea, put a pillow over the face. Well, I guess not the pillow since it wasn't his steward. It's almost like he went for the most public way of murdering this guy that he possibly could have.
It's a statement, and a very risky one that risks the lives of every Tearsman in the Tears Dominion and every living soul in this valley. Yeah, or in this whole district.
And Balhani, as he's sort of pulling out a map of the city to kind of map out a plan of where to go, kind of just off the hand says, well, really the best way would be to put glass shards in a nobleman's food, as it would be less traceable. But that's aside. And so
I
then
pull out a notebook and make a note. Glass shard. You can always get some glass shards. All right.
So yeah, and then I guess looking at you were saying the market was closer.
Yeah. The
All right.
Copper Gate Market is probably pretty close to where you guys are. I don't have a city map, but...
Yeah, no worries. And the kind of crowd that would frequent this market, is this a ska market? Is this a mixed crowd market?
It's a mixed crowd. The Copper Gate is it's where the ska come in and out for the most part. I mean, the ska represent most of the population in general. And yeah, it's not like the market where the rich people come to shop. But it's not the dirt poor market either. It's somewhere in between.
There's a line on here that you didn't read to us, the last line.
You're right. The last line is, hurry, army mustering to march on Terrace in 2 days' time.
Oh,
Sorry.
I unfold the note of another line and I read that at the end of our conversation.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, let's hurry. And thinking, given that the obligators are interrogating random terracemen, I'm going to stay in the Lord Sandwick disguise if needed to see if it could help diffuse any situation if they start questioning Z.
Okay.
And I will keep my distance from you guys.
So you guys are heading to the Copper Gate.
Yep.
To the scene of the crime!
I would also like to use my... Actually, I'll wait till it comes up in case I ever get frisked. But
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's nighttime now that he's left. You guys can't leave right away because of the mists. One thing Ska never do is go out in the mists. At night, the mists come up. They burn away in the daytime. It is widely believed to be superstitious nonsense, but also everyone obeys the superstitious nonsense anyway. One does not go out in the mists. The mists will strangle you. They will take you. At night, be inside. So by the time you hit the streets the next day, you're starting to see some evidence of the truth in what Telvigor told you. As you walk along towards the Copper Gate, you see armed soldiers breaking up any groups of more than 4 or 5 Ska, patrolling poorer parts of the city that they're not usually in. There are absolutely no Terrace folk on the streets. They're not common. They don't make up a majority of the population, but when they're out, they're easy to pick out because of their height. And they're as stewards and servants, they are often sent to the markets. They're not here. Yeah, so that's what you're witnessing on the way to the Copper Gate.
So I am the only tearsman.
Yeah, actually, you're drawing some looks. Give me a Wits roll, please, Zare.
Can always hide anything include myself from general everyone?
Can always hide anything? No, it doesn't include yourself. Is that one of your
Okay, what about-
traits?
Yeah, it's my specialty.
Okay, this Wits roll is not to hide. It's to notice something.
Ooh, I'm going to do a thingy where I
Alrighty.
tap 1 zinc to add 1 dice.
Okay.
I'm using game mechanics.
Sounds good.
Actually, I'm just gonna tap 2. Well, how many do I have? I have 4. I'm gonna tap 3.
This is a difficulty 1. So you have to get 1 matching set of dice.
Okay, I will just tap 1. Just say use the game mechanics. I want to use my magic.
Yeah, use it.
I want you to know I didn't get anything matching.
You know, when I first read this mechanic, I said, that seems like it's going to hardly ever happen. And so far, it hasn't happened. This is the 3rd roll of the game, I think. No matching sets yet. So no, you don't notice anything beyond what I said, that you're drawing looks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cody, this happened last week. Once again, your camera has gone out of focus.
When I lean forward to pick up dice, I notice is when it happens.
Yeah, it's like it focuses on you up front and then it doesn't refocus.
I remember what we did last time.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever fixed it or if it just kind of fixed itself eventually. Well, anyway. So you guys reach the markets by the Copper Gate. Oh, look at that. This is a commercial district. There's a fountain here. And this is the location where the murder happened. Golwell was known to frequent this area, according to the note that you were given. And it is where he killed Vedes during lunch hour.
Well, I am going to assume that, whether we discussed it or not, I assume that Slim Tim, the beggar, is going to be my mark. And you guys are going to the tea merchant, unless you want to, say, have a different plan.
No, sounds good to me.
All right.
Kind of chained to the Balhani right now.
Are we actually at the scene of the murder? Is there like evidence of where the attack was?
Well, you know, it was while he was drinking tea over lunch, so it is likely to have been out front of the tea merchant. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll head over to the tea merchant.
Okay.
Mr. Z and I.
Okay. Sorry, let me check something real quick.
Sure.
So yeah, this guy, this tea merchant has kind of a little kiosk near the fountain, and a few tables set out for people to sit and drink. The tables are not occupied as you approach. It's early morning. Nobody has ordered any tea yet, apparently. But he's here.
Oh, let's see here. Did we have a name for the tea merchant? Oh, sorry, it's in the notes. Or was it? No.
No, I think it just said tea merchant.
No, you did.
It was Tim. Dang it.
No, that's the beggar.
Slim Tim.
Slim Tim is the beggar, yes.
Yeah. So is this sort of like a restaurant or like a stall? What is his?
A kiosk.
It's a kiosk, and he has some tables and chairs set up in front of it for his customers to use. And you guys kind of came out right away in the start of the day, so it looks like he's kind of just gotten the tables set up. And you can see actually that he's got one still folded up back behind his kiosk that he hasn't set out.
Is it possible to what? So Bahani turns to Zer and says, "Good sir, can you go order me some tea?" And then while Zer is going to go up to the kiosk, Bahani will sort of slip around to kind of like as if he's wandering around bored waiting for his tea, but he wants to go sneak a peek at that folded up table.
Yeah, Steve, how weird would it be for me to be having a sword on me? Like,
it
while
would
I'm
be
walking the
weird unless you were carrying it in such a way that it looked like it wasn't yours. You could, if you had it wrapped up, put away on your back like you were just a caddy.
Okay, that's like a way that wouldn't be reasonable for me to grab.
Yeah,
quickly.
That wouldn't be that weird. Now it might not be smart today, but normally that wouldn't be that weird.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let Bahani hold it, and I anytime we get into a fight, I just pull it off his waist.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Hello. My nobleman would like some refreshment this morning.
He looks at you and kind of blinks and says, "Oh, all right." And he gestures towards a selection of teas that he has set out here.
Okay, I'm gonna distract him by like asking him how many teas he has, what are the health benefits of this one, does this one have tannins in it, is this considered a black tea because he can't drink that for religious purposes.
There's only one religion that's allowed, so you got to be careful with that last one. But yeah, let's do that. Do a charm roll.
Okay, hold on. Well, all right, we gotta consult the cheat sheet.
This is a contest. This is a contested charm roll.
Okay, I got a 2 in charm, so I'm gonna burn. Is there a maximum number of dice I can use in a single challenge?
It's 10.
So it is 10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna burn. So is a defense roll going to come up?
In this challenge, no. This is not a conflict. This is just a charm challenge. You're not trying to hurt each other.
Okay, I'm gonna roll 6 dice, which means I'm gonna burn a lot of zinc.
Okay.
Essentially my eyes just get a little more cracked, like I'm on a lot of coffee. All of a sudden.
All right. And I'll roll for the tea merchant here. Okay.
I gotta do quick maths. Gotta become one with the numbers as we were talking earlier. Okay. Do you want to know just matches?
Yeah.
I think you need your highest matches, right?
What? Yeah. Tell me all your matches, because this guy has matching 2s. A pair of 2s.
I have matching 6s.
Okay, the 6s
so I get a nudge, right?
don't count. Yeah, you get 2 nudges. The 6s don't count for matching. Do you have anything else matching?
No.
Okay, so you can use one of your nudges to, even though you don't distract this guy, you can use one of those nudges to make it so you also don't annoy him. And I'll leave it to you to suggest what the other one's for.
Can I use that now, or can I bank it?
I think you have to use it now, but when we take our break in just a minute, I'm actually going to look that up because this is like the 3rd time it's come up.
So I'm gonna use the 1 nudge, assuming I can't bank it, and then I'm going to use the other nudge to kind of. This is really dangerous, but I'm gonna somehow have the attention of a guard because I have a sword, even though it's not my sword.
I thought you put it on Balhani.
Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just my mere presence, I'm sure,
Okay.
eventually will have attracted a guard to add to the distraction.
So you're going to make yourself just a little more visible and a little more loud. And yeah, a guard does approach and stand there right behind you. Almost as though he were in line after you, but clearly a little too close, looking at you a little too hard. He's not just in line.
You first, of course. I step out the way, totally ignoring that he's definitely not here for tea.
Who's your master steward?
Z.O. Sandwick.
And he sent you out here to get him tea?
Yeah, he should be following along, not too.
Hey, Balhani, you're just nearby trying to get a look at that table, right?
Yeah, that's all
Okay.
I was trying to do, to see if I could investigate the table.
Let's actually resolve that real quick in the middle of this.
Okay.
Do a wits roll for me.
Okay, wits. Okay, 6, and then let's see. Do I have anything? I don't really have any skills that will help in this regard, so I'll roll 6.
Okay.
And let's see here. All right. So I do have, wow, 3 matching pairs.
Okay, well then what you easily see, all you have to do is like one circle. He's got this table leaned back against the fountain, but because it's a circular fountain, if you just go around this way, you can kind of get a angled view of the top of the table. It's got blood all over it, a blood stain.
Is there a way to tell like the splatter direction, right? Was it like he was stabbed from behind? Was he like did the blood spray like across the table, or was it like it dripped down? It's hard to tell.
You know what? I'm gonna make that another wits roll. It's gonna be a lot harder.
Okay, because I rolled double 4s was my highest. So
Okay.
but I'll roll again.
Yeah,
I'll
the
roll again.
first one was to see if you could look at it without
Yes,
looking like you were looking at it. This one is to
Gotcha.
see if you can interpret anything.
So I had double 1s, but I also got 2 6s for nudges.
With double 1s, yeah, that's actually a fail because I mentally set that at a three difficulty.
High difficulty, yeah.
So you didn't pass that one. You can't tell. There's definitely blood all over it, but it's folded up. You can hardly see it, and it's not in the place that it was when this happened. So you're not a forensic expert of that caliber.
Right.
You can't tell. So anyway, but you're right there. You're just a few paces away. So Zare, with this guard asking where your master is, you are able to point to him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I was just gonna say, well, my very demanding, lord always requests that I have his tea ready before he sits down, so he does not have to wait. He actually makes me blow on it, so that it is the perfect temperature for his palate.
And this guy, he kind of like makes a face, like the idea of drinking tea that someone else blew on grosses him out. But
so at this point, has Bahani's attention been drawn to the commotion back at the front of the kiosk?
yeah, you would know, especially with your guard up about your terrorist friend, you would notice this guard approaching him. So yeah.
All right, so Lord Sandwick, with all the confidence that he can muster as a lord, will walk up, tapping his dueling cane very loudly to announce his presence. Does there seem to be trouble, sir? To the soldier.
Oh, okay.
Are you Lord Sandwick?
Why, yes. By the way, how are you? It's been a long day of standing guard. I'm sure this recent disaster has had you on pulling double duty.
Yes, well, we do have to check in to random stewards walking the street. Apparently they stab people now.
What? And then kind of pulling the soldier aside, it's like, dear God, what I heard, it sounded ghastly. Any advice on what I should be on the lookout for? Can never trust these terroristmen.
Well, we don't know whether it was just one crazed servant or whether there's some sort of uprising. I never had any thoughts about distrusting a terroristman before this, but who knows what they all talk about when we're not around.
This soldier, I'm assuming, is like a ska background, or...
Yeah.
Okay.
He's addressing you in this sort of friendly manner because you did it first, but
Right.
He's keeping his distance. He's not being disrespectful. But yeah, that's typical for a soldier.
Yeah, no, I was trying to use my own sort of soldier background knowledge that, hey, pulling guard duty's really a shitty job.
Yeah, and he appreciated that. Yeah.
So I offered to order him a cup of tea. I saw you were standing in line. If you'd like to grab a cup, it's on me.
Oh, I appreciate that, my lord, but I can't really do it. I have to continue my rounds.
Well, the offer always stands.
I will.
Thank you for keeping us safe.
I appreciate that, my lord. And off he goes. Now, Matic,
Yes.
you went to talk to Slim Tim.
Yes, and what I would like to do is take a little oblique route so I can just sort of slide right in next to him. I assume he's sitting somewhere. I just want to casually sort of just like slide right up next to him and be like, so, crazy day yesterday, huh?
Who are you?
Sorry, would you like an onion?
I got one.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I look at the onion and I put it away. And I pull out one of the items I stole in that burglary yesterday. Maybe just like a simple silver bracelet in the palm of my hand. So he can see it, but nobody else can. I'm sorry. Would you like an onion? And this I'd like to roll.
For what?
Oh, I want the inside scoop, man. You got the hot gossip. I want to know what really happened.
Obligator got stabbed.
Oh, I'll bet. I heard it was a terraceman, like that guy.
Not as much jewelry as that guy.
Ah. Did he look mad? Was it like a crime of passion?
What's that mean?
It means, was he mad?
Yeah.
Like he yelling or angry? Or did he just look like cold and like a soldier, just like there's no robots in this world.
He was mad. He's foaming at the mouth.
Foaming at the mouth, literally?
Yeah, I should know.
Ah. Did you see what he was doing right before it happened?
Yeah.
Did the guy the Prelon, did he slap something out of his hand or kick him or do something?
Oh.
What did he do?
A terrace fella came out of the store over there. Saw that obligator sitting there drinking his tea. Ran up on him. You could see his face. He didn't have control of himself. He was just in a rage. He had a kitchen knife.
Huh. That's weird, but he wasn't in a kitchen. Was he?
He gets up and leaves.
Too far.
You weirded out the homeless guy.
We are going to take our break here, actually. We're 10 minutes late right now.
All right.
It is, it's 10:10 here in California. We'll be back at 10:20. Thank you, everyone, for watching and playing. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Welcome back. Cody's using his favorite dice, and all is well with the world. We have done a little investigating over at the Coppergate Market. You have learned that you've learned from Slim Tim the Baker that this terraceman who killed the obligator was acting in extreme anger when he did this. And he came out of a store, saw the guy, and charged him with a kitchen knife.
What store was that?
He gestured toward a clothing store across the market square from where you were talking to him.
All right. I will sidle off to a convenient alley where we three can meet up again outside of the eye of the public. Not too far from the marketplace, and just quietly convey that info to you guys.
At this point, I assume are we sitting at the tea merchant's
No,
Kiosk still.
I'm not I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy.
You guys may be there at the start of the scene. Maddox is trying to get you to come to an alley to talk to her in private.
I walk past you at the table and do the world's biggest, and then walk off.
We should do that on the side without the bangs.
Without the bangs?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I think I can only. It looks better on
Actually, I
this
think
side.
it's funnier to do it on the side with the bangs, because then we can't tell you're doing it.
This
And
is
it's
all my
already-
train of thought, and I'm winking on like other sides as I walk across the square, which
Oh my god.
conveniently enough hides the fact that I'm trying to communicate with somebody. Because yes, as normal, I just look lost in my own thoughts.
Oh boy.
You know, for the
So
longest
whimsical.
time, I thought it was an act. It's all I say to Balhani. Is just for the long, like I think we're pretty good actors, but like no one can be that good at acting.
Here's the thing, Cody. Kenny and I went off on our old man rant about the A-Team today for like 6 hours, and you didn't know what we were talking about. But that is exactly Murdoch's deal, what you just described. Nobody, the whole show, nobody knew if he was faking it or not.
Right.
Doing my best to live up. My
Well,
favorite
Sarah's a
character.
genius, apparently.
What was that?
Sarah's a genius then.
Oh yeah. Well, we knew that.
So I'm concerned. Like normally, I would think to send Zare to go check out what Maddox wants by himself, but at the same time, knowing the scrutiny that terracemen are under, I don't think it'd be safe to send him off alone. So, I guess we'll down the tea real quick and go ahead to link up with Maddox.
All right.
I don't think I ever actually successfully got you tea.
No, you did. You did. After Balhani distracted the guard, you were served your tea.
Question: Is it normal for like clergymen to have their own stewards?
Yeah, but this guy wasn't this obligator's steward.
Mm-hmm.
He worked for Larice Venture, as you were told.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we adjourn. Or never mind. I'm gonna stop. We're in the alley.
I don't know where that was gonna go, but okay.
Yeah. All right, I quickly bring you guys up to speed on what the beggar told me, what Slim Tim told me, and cap it off with, and he never even took the bracelet. I scared him off. Oh, it's great.
So so if I remember correctly, Slim Tim told you that the terracemen came out of the store.
Yes.
So Balhani will kind of look around and see like what other stores are in the vicinity that he could have come out from.
Yeah, well, I'll point you towards the store that the beggar pointed towards. The clothing store, you said, right? Clothing
Yeah.
store.
Mm.
That's key information I would
Yeah.
convey.
Okay. Well, let's go check it out.
Is Balhani a regular at this haberdashery?
I would assume as a master of disguises, he...
Someone that is Balhani is a regular at this haberdashery.
So we'll go and check out the wares of our
Okay.
of this store.
Well, it is indeed a clothing store. You've been in here before. There is a young girl, early 20s, working in here today. She says, "Oh, hello, my lord. How can I help you?"
Yes, I'm looking for some new outfits, but I was just wondering what you guys have for sale.
She looks a little confused, and it gradually dawns on you that this is the kind of place where you get fitted and then they make the clothes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You can't just buy off the rack in Luthor.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So this is like the
Yeah.
set tailor. Gotcha. And I guess, well, I'm looking for a new outfit. There's a soiree that's happening soon, and I want to look my best.
Yes, my lord. What kind of material do you favor?
This one is just for family, so so something not too expensive, but yeah, not making me look like a ska.
I understand.
Racist.
You say
Everybody is racist in Mistborn world.
you are addressing a ska right now, in fact, and
yeah.
you have entered the building with a ska at your side. But
I didn't come in with
Oh,
them.
you didn't come in. Then never mind
Yes.
that second part. But nonetheless, nobody is surprised or offended.
Right. I'm playing the part of a nobleman.
Yeah,
right?
you would not want to look like a ska.
Right.
Jason is encouraging you to get something two-tone. So she begins pulling out fabric samples and showing you things in like spider silk and whatever weird variations of cotton and wool they have here.
And again, with my confidence and also my devilish smile, I'll say, nasty business. What happened out there at the tea station?
Yeah, when you say that, she becomes visibly nervous and starts stealing glances over at Zare. She's clearly uncomfortable talking about it in front of him, but she says, "Yeah, what's up?"
Okay, I want to start storing into my zinc mind to lower my wit by 3, so I am basically an imbecile and drooling.
Okay, you've got it. That is happening. You may put 3 charges in there. I think that's how that works.
Usually it takes like an hour in like a rest scenario. I don't.
Okay, well, however it works, do that. But yeah, you become an imbecile.
Yeah, for the next hour
the
or
course
when
of
I
this
just
scene.
like mentally can stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are, so she looks at you and she sees your eyes kind of glazed over and just staring blankly around this store. She's still nervous, but it eases her a little bit to know that this particular terraceman is an imbecile. And she says, I didn't think they did that. They're supposed to be so well behaved.
Yes, I mean, my steward is well trained, as you can see. He's no harm to anyone. What would cause a terraceman to do this? I heard he was angry. I mean, I've never seen my steward, raise his hand in anger.
No one has. A terraceman, they don't get angry. But this one was waving his sword around and darn near cut off that obligator's head.
Yeah, and again with a sort of a devilish smile and confidence, it's like, well, what was this terraceman doing around here alone?
He was in here. He was picking up an order for his mistress, Larice Venture.
Oh. By chance, I'm actually going to be going to the party with the Ventures. Did he happen to take the package?
Well, he took it out of the store. I don't know what happened to it after that.
Ah, darn. Well, I'll have to ask Larice Venture when I see them later this evening.
Yes. She begins pulling out more fabric samples and waiting patiently for the subject to change away from that.
By the way, if I try to make a wit roll right now, I literally only roll 1 dice, meaning it's impossible.
Yeah, no, you
Or is there a
can't.
minimum?
You can't roll less than 2, but it automatically incurs a complication. If your pool is 1, you roll 2 anyway, but you get an automatic complication.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm assuming at this point we're not going to get any more information out of the out of this person, and so as she starts to show me the fabric, I was like, well, this is just not going to suit my needs, but I do appreciate your time. Is there like small currency or some sort that's?
They use coins. I don't remember what the individual coins are called, but they use coins.
If I have some pocket change, I'll sort of throw it to her. Enough that it's rude and insulting, but at the same time, like, you could see a nobleman would think that this is a grand gesture. Like,
Yeah.
I just gave you 50 cents for your time. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're clearly behaving very self-importantly. You're being so nice in the way that you talk to these low people.
Right.
As though they're worth your time.
Yes. And then we will leave the store.
Okay. And where are you? You didn't go in with them.
I think I would like to try to sneak in the back
Of the store? Of the
of
clothing
the store. I'm going to look around and see if there's a back entrance or a back window or something
Okay.
of that nature.
What kind of a roll should that be? To see if you can get away
Physique.
with that nonsense. Physique. I guess there's not really a roll for that. I'm gonna say there isn't a back door because this is a storefront in a larger building, and if you go around the building, you'll just see a different storefront.
What's the other store on the other side?
It's a dive bar.
I stagger in.
Okay,
As if
it's facing
already-
away from the square though.
Oh.
So it's like
It
it's
takes
the,
a long time to get there.
well, you not on the order of 10 minutes or anything. You could walk around the building, but it's a long building. Like I said, it's got storefronts in it, so there's several of them in a row. When you get around to see that there's a dive bar there, though, you're now in like a back alley facing away from the market square.
Alrighty. Well, I am just going to try to stagger on in, as if drunk. Is it reasonably busy?
No,
no?
It's early morning, and it's not early anymore, I guess, but it's morning. Things have just opened. There's still a couple people already drunk in here, but
Of course.
it's not busy.
All right. So I am going to, staggering but moving very quickly, ideally before the bartender really can figure out what I'm doing. I just go straight by towards the back and say, "Hey, I'm a friend of the owner," zip, 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 and just go straight through any
Through
kind
the
of back.
wall?
Is it a wall? Is there no back door?
It's a completely separate establishment.
I slam into the wall, body slam into the wall, turn around and say, "Nice to see you," and walk out again. And that's it. It didn't accomplish much, but I had fun doing it.
After you leave, the bartender and the drunks look at each other, and he says, I didn't serve her here."
And I catch up with you guys until they've cleverly hidden the entrance. I wasn't able to find it.
There's no back entrance.
Cleverly hidden.
No such thing.
Nah.
So at this point, I think we're not going to find out much more yet, right? This clearly seems to have been an attack, not fixated on the location, but the target. and the folks around here pretty much told us, I think, all we're going to know. For some reason, this terraceman was angry, whether he was in control of his own emotions or someone controlled his emotions, right? Because there is
Controlling emotions, yes, is a thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that something that I would know as a character, or is that something that I just happen to have read as a player?
That is common knowledge as a character, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a chance that this man was controlled or goaded to attack.
Yeah, so there's such a thing as, they're called rioters. I forget which metal they burn, maybe bronze, I don't know. But they inflame your emotional state. And they can choose which emotions to inflame. But it's not mind control. If they made this guy angrier than he would have been, it was still his decision what to actually do.
Right. But he probably did something that he normally wouldn't have done if he were of sort of sound mind.
If he were being rioted, then yeah, he might have acted differently.
So I guess the question would be, do we try and track down sources of copper, or because it's something, or if that's even feasible, or do we try and go onto the shipping company, or go straight to Larice Venture, which was the first on the list?
Yeah, tracking down sources of metal, not likely to be worth your time. Mistings are a dime a dozen.
Gotcha.
And yeah, they all have sources of metal out there.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So I guess the question is then, do we do Larice Venture, or do we go on to the shipping company?
I want to know what was in that package.
Me too.
So that would be Larice Venture. I'd say we go straight to the source. Do we know where to locate said person?
Yes. The House Venture has several estates around the city. And you know without being told which one that particular Venture woman lives in.
Does it take us about an hour to get there?
Yes.
Cool. I'm no longer an imbecile. I pulled my tongue back into my mouth, and we're good to go.
As his wits slowly return, occasionally I turn and dab Czar's cheek for where the drool is coming down, and
yeah, and you guys don't. Would you guys know I'm a keeper at this point?
It's up to you whether you would have told your partners in crime about your secret abilities.
Yeah, they would know. They would definitely know that I'm a keeper, and maybe they don't understand the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just explained to them for simplicity that sometimes I just react very erratically based off of memories either coming back or my faculties being occupied.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Sharing details of feruchemy and what it can do is something you would only do with people you trust a lot. So, yeah.
Trust them enough.
Yeah.
We're running a secret underground, I guess.
Yeah.
If we're caught, we're dead.
The only example we have is the novels, which have one main character who's a feruchemist, and he does tell his crew, like, they all know what he can do. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I say we head to Larice Venture then.
Okay.
That's my guess. I don't want to speak for the crew.
Well,
you're
the man with the plan, right?
Yeah.
So I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Yes.
It hasn't really come together yet, but
no.
I want to make
Act
sure.
2.
I want to make sure our arrival is well met by leaning on my very good knowledge of political erudition.
Okay.
And my feature of a flair for the dramatic to announce Sandwick's arrival to House Venture.
Venture.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so while you guys are on your way there, you see a few more interesting sights.
Oh, okay.
a prison wagon. As you're crossing one of the larger streets in your journey, a prison wagon rattles down the cobblestones, packed with terracemen. Some in working clothes, some in finery. Armed guards are flanking the wagon and shoving back a wailing woman who is getting too close to the cart. On another corner, you see a chain gang of terrace stewards, all in fine robes like Zare's, sodden by ash and splashes of what might be blood. And they are standing outside the Canton of Finance, awaiting their turn for questioning.
I'm sorry, you said some of them had blood on them?
They had something red on them.
Okay.
Might be blood.
How many of them look wounded? Basically, other than like maybe resisting arrest wound, or just scuffle.
A couple, but none of them are unable to stand.
But none of them are like cut with like a sword and like
No,
yeah,
they've
okay.
been brought for questioning, not for murdering.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Some of them look like they've maybe been punched.
Yeah.
Things
okay.
like that, yeah. When you do arrive at Larice Venture's home, you find a couple of guards out front talking heatedly with some obligators at the gate. I am going to ask all of you to, whoever would like to, whoever has the highest influence, to make an influence roll.
I have 4.
So do I. But I don't think this is the place where I have influence.
Fair.
But I can use, if it's depending upon what traits I could use.
Yeah.
I could use my confidence, my devilish smile, my master of disguise. If my disguise can help.
Well,
in this regard.
this is a roll to see if you know something. It's not a roll to impress people. So
Gotcha.
this would be related to your knowledge of the nobility in the city. I think you actually do have a trait related to that, right?
Yeah, restore honor, I guess, is my
Okay.
drive. So I guess I would know that.
I would count that one. Yeah.
So that'd give me 5.
Yeah.
All right, so I roll. Let's see. And I got a pair of 3s.
Okay, so there's a man. Did you get any 6s?
No.
Okay, so I mentioned that there are guards and obligators in the back, in the front by the gate, talking heatedly. You also see in the yard a man that you recognize as Straff Venture, the head of House Venture, one of the most important and powerful noble houses in the Empire. He's here at Larice Venture's home. This isn't his home, but it is an estate belonging to his house. And he's here arguing with some of his advisors, apparently arguing. You can't actually hear them. They're inside the gates up by the house.
Okay, so this, to me, just kind of reading the tea leaves, this looks like someone of the lesser house has somehow done something to bring down the ire of the Steel Ministry, and he's been dragged into this mess, probably, is my assumption. So yeah, I guess the question is, my guess is we are probably not going to easily get in to see Larice Venture easily. Yeah, Larice Venture easily. Because we'd have to get through the courtyard, or we'd have to get in the building first.
Eileen, I'm like, this place definitely has a back, though, right? Like a back door.
Yeah. Definitely. It also definitely is surrounded by guards.
Right. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Well, I guess our only hope is we could go off the note and see if that'll buy us interest or entrance to the compound. You guys want to?
What note?
Yes,
the
we were.
notes told LV, right? It says you have a friend or a
Yes,
friend of
that's
Darius
right.
Hastings.
Yes.
But we need to make sure to not tell staff that. We very much need to tell Larissy.
Right.
Larice. Yeah.
Larisse. That.
Okay.
I have an idea. There must be. What time is it? What time of day?
It is still morning. It's probably more like mid to late morning at this time.
Seeing as my specialty is transportation, including carriages, boats, etc., I wonder if if we can spot any incoming deliveries, groceries, or anything else coming into the house that we could sort of intercept and bribe whoever is driving to let me drive it instead. And get past the guards and everybody.
So you're
that
looking
way?
for a delivery that happens to be headed to Larisse Venture's house right
Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
now? No.
All right, I thought it was worth a shot.
No Grubhub orders that just happen to be.
We could make a delivery, go out and steal a cart. I have a cart. I didn't bring it with me. I start patting my pockets.
I do in a sort of player mode. I think I probably have 3 traits that'll allow us to sweet talk our way in. So hope that may work if we want to try risking going in the front door.
I assume you guys are kind of at a distance from the gates.
Yeah, we're not doing this conversation. Right.
Well, right, but out of sight, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You are able to hear the gate open. And a few moments later, you see Straff Venture and his advisors getting into a carriage and leaving.
Okay. We'll just wait until they depart, I think, and before we approach the house.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, if you wait long enough, the obligators will have left as well, and the guards are now guarding the front gate alone. There's 2 of them.
All right. I guess this is our cue, and Lord Sandwick, with the poise, the confidence of a soldier, and will flash a devilish smile as he walks up to the guards and says, "Lord Sandwick here. I'm here to speak to Larisse Venture."
One of the guards reaches over, pulls a rope, and you can hear a bell ring from inside the house. A few moments later, a terrace steward comes walking out, comes up to the gate. He says, "Hello, good men, good women. I'm Stanzen. How may I help you?"
Is it afternoon here now, right? About
Yeah, it's late morning, mid-late morning, yeah.
Good morning, sir. We're here to speak with Larisse Venture. We were told he's expecting us. We're friends of Darius Hastings.
Larisse is a female.
Oh, sorry, Larisse. Sure, she. Sorry.
Yeah. He says, "May I have your name, sir?"
Yes, Lord Sandwick.
I am afraid I am not familiar with your name, Lord Sandwick. You can see that he's being polite, but it's kind of his job not to let people through just because they say to. So I'm actually going to need an influence roll here.
Okay.
This time you are trying to convince someone to do something, so you can apply some of those traits maybe.
All right, so I'll use my devilish smile, confidence, and I guess master of disguise would be fitting for these.
Yeah, actually, they all do fit.
Can I?
So that'll.
Oh, sorry. I was
No,
going to
go ahead.
ask. There's no way for me to assist on this roll.
No,
Is there?
Not really.
Okay. All right. No worries.
Maybe there is, but if there is, I didn't read that part.
All right.
I think if you have a trait.
Oh yeah, you might have a trait that applies to the situation.
Yeah.
Well, I am manically disheveled. So, yeah, this is...
that's actually going to take a dice
Yeah.
away.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, it depends. Like if I want to use it. Oops, sorry. Goes there.
No. I just want to I have political erudition. Meaning like I know how like high functioning court goes, so I can kind of help posture.
Okay,
the
so that will
interaction.
give you back the dice that Matic cost you. So you have one political genius. This is something that I don't think I talked to Kenny and Sarah about. Terrace keepers each pick a subject that they become experts in studying.
Cool.
And Cody and I talked earlier today. His area of expertise is political erudition. He is a walking encyclopedia of political history and intrigue.
Nice.
Well,
So-
because
so-
I'm a.
Okay.
I want to ask a question after we resolve your roll, actually.
Okay, so yeah, her appearance cost you a die. Talking with him in advance about what to say gave you one back. So,
Correct.
yeah.
All right. So I shall roll the 7 dice. Let's see.
It's healthy.
So I got a pair of 3s and a nudge.
All right. So yeah, you are allowed in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He acknowledges your request and opens the gate and gestures for you to come in.
Why, thank you, sir.
Okay. My question is, who exactly is Darius Hastings?
Ah.
Question we probably should have asked 2 hours ago.
Yeah,
A lot's
maybe.
happened. We've been
One
busy.
would think, and especially well, you didn't drop his name at the gate.
We did.
I didn't hear Kenny say it.
He did.
Did I forget that he said it? Okay. Well, then you should have gotten an extra dice for saying it. But you got it anyway.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll
Doesn't
one.
matter.
Maybe you'll get a nudge.
No nudge.
Well, for the nudge that you did get, I'll say that you are able to impress Stanzen the steward to the point where he thinks of you all as friendly, and not just guests of his master. Darius Hastings, I'll say Balhani would know, this is another nobleman that is known in the city to be friends and gossiping partners with Larice Venture.
Okay. Okay. That's good.
So Stanzen leads you in where you meet Larice Venture, a woman that you recognize, Balhani, having seen her at a distance, but never having actually met her before. She is on the balcony of her estate when you meet her. You're led upstairs to the balcony. She is watching as her servants downstairs delicately sweep the ash from an expansive herb garden that she has on the grounds. Fun point of note in this setting, I don't think I mentioned, all those little mountains and stuff on the map, they're all volcanoes. They're called ash mounds. They don't spew lava, but they spew ash constantly. There is ash on everything all the time. Also, the plants are like red and brown. No one has ever seen a green plant. Only someone with the most arcane knowledge of ancient history would even know that plants were once green. And it would seem weird to everyone else. Noble people have sometimes gardens where they have, like, indoor greenhouse gardens where they have bred plants to be very bright colors. But green is not something anyone would think to make a plant be. So that is why these servants are gently sweeping the ash off the herb garden. It collects over time like dust does in a regular city.
Does that dust inherently make soil more fertile like it would normal volcanic like soot and stuff?
Not in these quantities. It's quite the opposite. It's not,
Mainly asking because like the terrace dominance is the most mountainous and volcanic region.
Yeah, those aren't volcanoes. Like here, let me zoom in. You can see actually some of them.
I see them now.
Yeah, some of them have little plumes of smoke above them. Oh. I said they're all volcanoes, but they're not. They're not all volcanoes. There's some that have little smoke coming out. There are ash mounds all over, is the point.
I see. No, now I understand. Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
So yeah, it doesn't make... The quantities of ash we're talking about are far in excess of what you would normally want to mix into the soil. It's poison, and it's slowly poisoning the world over centuries. So yeah, there's ash on everything. They're sweeping it off the garden. When Larice Venture greets you, her face is etched with haughtiness. She has the expression of someone who has just a permanent disdain for everyone around her. She doesn't like you. She doesn't like her servants. She doesn't like her terrace steward. As you enter the room, she's sizing you up, looking at your clothing, your shoe prints on the floor, anything you're carrying. As though she were inspecting you or something. She does narrow her eyes at Zare, and she says, I apologize, but I do not allow foreigners in my private rooms. Please tell your servant to wait in the kitchens with my staff.
And she is speaking to Zare?
She is addressing you about Zare.
Zare.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. So, just quickly, I take my, sort of, if I have some sort of cloak or jacket, and sort of toss it to Zare and say, please hold on to this and go make yourself useful.
Would you like me to take your sword as well?
Yes. And I hand him my sword. Hold this for me. I'm sure I won't need it. I'm here amongst friends. And I give her a devilish smile.
Okay, and now I'm going to hide the sword under the coat and just hold it and refuse to give up the jacket anywhere I go.
Okay. Stanzen, the steward who let you in, will lead you to the kitchens. And along the way, he's going to say, have you worked for Lord Sandwick long?
Really quickly, I would like to sidle after these guys, and I'm going to leave.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm going to leave Balhani alone. I am aware enough to realize my presence is not going to improve things. I'm just going to pretend like that order applied to me too.
It did.
Yes.
She said foreigners, but yeah, you knew what she meant.
Yeah.
Well done. So yeah, Stanwick ignores you and says to Zare, have you worked for Lord Sandwick long?
Yes, I've worked for Sandwick most of my life.
I do not believe I have met him or you before, brother.
It's okay. We come a long way to open a humble shop. He spends most of his time expanding business endeavors elsewhere.
I assume you are here interested in the business with our brother Golwill.
Yes, that is true. is deeply concerning that our people would gain more ire from the populace after such an event.
Yes. It is most puzzling. I am a friend of Golwill. He glances back at you, Maddox, uncomfortably. Then he looks to you.
Literally just hands in my pocket, staring at the ceiling.
Yeah, Zara, he's clearly asking you with his eyes if it's cool to talk in front of Maddox.
Oh. Yeah. They're too insane to remember anything.
What?
He
She's playing with the
nods.
sock puppet right now.
I've got my hands in my pockets and I'm like talking to each other.
Golwill was a gentleman. He would never hurt anyone. I once saw him shoo a fly out the window instead of smashing it. It makes little sense what I've heard. But I can tell you, after what happened, he did come past the house. He came in the servants' entrance in the back, and he grabbed his belongings, what few he had. And he told me that he was leaving the city. He said he was headed home.
How? Where is he from?
Home.
Mm.
I didn't know at the time what had happened. I didn't know what was wrong. He was scared. He was upset. I tried to speak with him, but he wouldn't tell me anything. Only later did I hear what he had done.
What have you heard? Have you heard how angry he was? He was foaming at the mouth.
I hadn't heard that. I've heard many versions of the story, and when he had a sword, and when he had an axe, and when he poisoned a man's tea. All I know for sure is that he murdered an obligator. That's what everyone says. I can't imagine that Golwill could have done such a thing.
What if a Mistborn was involved? A rioter?
I thought of that. I still don't see it happening.
Who would frame him then? Has he been hanging out with any new people? Any unaccounted time in his schedule?
Not that I'm aware of. I can tell you our friends did ask me to keep an eye on him at one point. And at this point, Zara, you, for the second time in 2 days, hearing the phrase, our friends, remember that this is a code.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm following.
Okay, so
Wait, even the ska people know it?
Stanzen is a terraceman like you.
No, but
Oh,
the
but the
guy
guy
who
who
gave
came
us
to
the
you.
job.
Your ska people don't know it, but that guy could have been fed the code word
Okay.
to send you a message.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Well, then he must be found.
Listen, I'm not one to distrust our friends, but it is unusual that they would have an interest in this matter. I don't like that they're tracking one of our own.
Okay, so now I know he is a magic person too.
Not necessarily, no.
Oh,
you
I
know,
thought only the keepers. Okay, I might have just
no,
misunderstood
all
the little
terracemen.
handout.
All terracemen follow them.
Okay. Well, never mind. That just.
Yeah.
Would you? Is he a keeper? Is what I ask him.
Stands and looks around. No, not that I've heard. I'm sure he would have mentioned.
How much of his stuff did he take with him?
Well, we are not allowed to have much here, but he took what was his clothes, his medals.
Okay,
books.
so if his medals were his metal mind, it wouldn't really be known to other people.
Right. The other terracemen all wear copious jewelry as well to cover for the fact that the keepers wear it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
It's just how terracemen dress.
Yeah. Which I have a ton of earrings on. Those are my metal
earrings,
ones.
bracelets, rings, nipple clamps, whatever.
Yep. God pieces.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, so at this point you've now learned that Stanzen was contacted by the Synod to keep an eye on Golwall. However, he informs you that this was after Golwall had already left, and there was not much he could do about it. You also know from Stanzen that Golwall was not prone to violence. Even more than most terracemen, he was docile. Maddock, I'm assuming you've just been hanging back this whole time?
Yes, sorry, I forgot I was Maddock.
How in character.
Yes. Yeah, I've been hanging back. I am looking for some ska servants around the place that I can sort of peel off and approach on my own.
Okay.
Ideally, somebody not too highly placed. I'm looking for like the scullery maid or like the pages or somebody really like the lowest person in the household I can find. I want somebody who's bored out of their minds and tired and just looking for distraction.
Yeah, okay, there actually is someone who is, with a brush about this big, scrubbing a brass trophy just in an alcove in the hallway.
I come up behind them and not like in a creepy way, just like walk up and just look at it and like make faces at myself and the brass. How old is this person? Like a child?
It's
adult?
it's a teenage girl.
Yeah.
An underfed one.
Yeah. I just am doing this behind her, and I assume she's ignoring.
She turns and looks at you. What?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's just, this looks like a lot of fun. Do you just get to do this all day?
She holds the brush out to you.
Thanks. I go ahead.
She doesn't actually give it to
Oh.
you. She didn't expect you to take it. She's
Okay.
annoyed now. What do you want?
Sorry. You know, the muckety mucks are chatting. Just making myself scarce till they need me again, you know. Like we ska servants do, huh? Hey, do you want... And I pull like... Can I just have food on me? Just... It's not an onion, no? I swear it's not an onion.
Okay. It's not something that was thrown from a balcony?
It's not.
Okay.
I was like, oh, you know what I say? Like, hey, do you want a cookie? And I come out, and it's the silver bracelet from earlier that the beggar didn't take.
I do like cookies.
Hey, there you go. So what happened with the guy? I was like, I heard he was here. I heard he I heard it was like a kitchen knife that he did in the guy with.
Listen, I knew Golwell. He didn't kill anybody. It's ridiculous.
I know, that's what they said. He was like foaming at the mouth, like he'd suddenly gone crazy. And I know crazy. Look, people don't just like snap like that and then snap back and pick up their stuff.
He must have left. He must have left the city. Everyone after him, I don't know who would make up a story like that about Golwell. But the only thing that makes less sense than someone framing Golwell is Golwell killing someone.
Yeah. Do you think they were trying to get to your muckety-muck? Like embarrass her? Because he was picking up her stuff, right? In
Embarrass?
The market? Yeah.
They
That's gotta
murdered
be
a high obligator. This is not embarrassing. This is treason.
Oh. Do they think somebody set him up? Like wound him up like a toy and like shoved him at the guy?
Golwell?
Yeah. Like, you know, these muckety mucks, they have like
Will you
magic
please stop
powers.
saying muckety muck?
Okay,
You've said it
fine.
like 18 times. I don't know what it means.
The nobles, come on.
I
You
don't
need to
know
spend
you.
more time on the streets.
I don't know you.
That's true.
Please
Fine.
go away.
Okay, fine.
We're gonna check in with Balhani now. You are upstairs talking with Larice Venture.
Living up to my 3 charm.
Yeah.
We're tracking down information one at a time.
Yes.
So after the lessers have left our presence, the Balhani will sort of do this, the sort of noble. I guess this is sort of like dogs sniffing each other, trying to figure out who's pecking order. Right, she's kind of checking me out. I'm looking around at her surroundings. Sort of.
Just a moment of checking each other out before speaking.
Yeah, just kind of looking at her, judging her wealth, her status based upon the items that she has displayed. So I'll say, I was just talking to Darius Hastings the other day, and nasty business what happened with your steward or your servant out in the market.
And what is the nature of your relationship with Darius Hastings?
Oh, we love to share gossip.
Did Darius send you to help with my little problem?
Yes, he did. He said we could be of use. So I was...
Okay. This will be a charm roll to convince her. It's going to be opposed by her wits.
All right. So charm, and I am assuming. Do my devilish smile confidence?
Oh, absolutely. What is a devilish smile for if not charm?
Right. And then does disguise still work in this case?
No, the disguise got you in the door. It's
Okay.
It's not getting you kicked out.
Okay. All right. So. Oh yes, a pair of 5s.
Okay, you have soundly defeated her. She believes that Darius has sent you to aid her. Okay. Sorry. What is it that you need to know from me in order to locate the wayward being?
Well, first I have to understand what happened so I can get inside his mind and track him down.
I'm
What?
sure I do not know. I wasn't present.
He was there to pick up a package for you, I was told.
I am not aware of that. Golwill was a steward, but he wasn't. He didn't deal directly with me on my instructions very often. He most likely was sent to that market by the High Steward, Stanzen, who brought you in.
Interesting. Oh, I shall speak to Stanzen. Um,
She looks confused at you when you say that.
yeah. Um, and then just sort of turning the subject of the conversation, and then I guess using potentially some knowledge that Zer had given to me about the house as we were discussing his extensive knowledge. Would I know of any house that would be a known rival to the Venture family?
Nothing that stands out. Any house
Okay.
would love to unseat the Ventures as, like the top house. But there's nobody that you can think of that would do this, that this would
Okay.
benefit.
Anyone? Yeah.
Because this creates trouble for everyone, right? Like this could be war.
Yeah. What do I know where this house, is there like a connection between this house and that Northern Shipping Company at all that we know of? In common knowledge? Or is that
There's nothing that you know of, no.
okay? Because I'm debating.
But at this point, she is submitting to your questioning because she believes you're here to help her.
Right. Who do you know of any? Yeah, so I'll just ask her. Is like sort of like trying to find out friendly. Like, is there any rivals that you may have caused to try and sabotage your family and your house?
Certainly not. And if they were after our family, our house, they would attack us, not the obligators.
Mm-hmm.
Attacking the obligators is suicide.
Someone would have to be crazy to do that.
Clearly, this Golwill was crazy. I regret only that I did not fire him long ago.
Oh, what? How long has he been in your service?
Approximately 6 years.
And did he have cause to fire him in the past?
No, but I don't like these terracemen. They make me uncomfortable. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of ridding myself of them, but they're just so useful.
I understand. Try like swallowing his disgust for the lady, but willing to play the role. Is it possible for me to inspect his quarters, see if I can find any evidence of where he may have gone?
I suppose I would allow that if it will help you track him down.
Yes, I will need my terrace to help. Sometimes you need one to help you think like one.
Yes, well, we will call for Stanzen and he can show you the place.
Well, hopefully we shall resolve this issue at once and business can return to usual.
I see. Well, she reaches out and rings a bell, and you two see Stanzen immediately respond. He comes back to the room, beckoning for you guys to follow him. And he opens the door. He leaves you guys in the hallway. You rang, lady. She says, please take our guest, Lord Sandwick, to see where Golwill was quartered before he ran off. He bows and holds the door open for you, Bolhani.
I said, and without actually giving him any notice, I just walk right past.
Okay. All right. So you guys have left the presence of Lady Venture, and Stanwick will show you Golwill's room, which the two of them actually shared. There are two beds in here, and one side of the room is completely cleaned out. So Stanzen indicates, this was my side, and Golwill slept over here. You can see this was his closet. He took his clothes from it. Everything that was his is gone.
I would like to start searching and look for anything that would be a false bottom or somewhere where he potentially would have kept hidden secrets.
Okay. Give me a wits roll.
Cool. Can I use my smuggler profession? And if I can hide anything.
Yes. Yes, you
For
can.
+2.
Yep. Both those things
Okay,
help.
so we're up to 5, and we're gonna make it a nice 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're just gonna burn 5. I'm gonna use my zinc, right?
Okay. You find a drawer.
I still have to roll.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The numbers that you just said to me are so high. You're going to find this thing.
Okay.
It's not that hard to find. You find a drawer with a false bottom in the closet. It looks like it had more stuff in it, but there is one scrap of paper in here that looks like part of a letter.
Can I be distracting Stranzen?
You can, but you don't have to.
Okay.
He has been instructed to let you guys search the place.
All right.
I know it doesn't matter, but I did get a nudge.
Okay. What would you like to do with your nudge?
If he worked here, this is like super. Yeah. If there was like dust accumulating in this false bottom because of how old it was, there would be like an outline of like the objects in it if they were neatly kept. Right? Is there anything extra like that? Maybe.
Like shapes in the dust? No, not really.
What is a piece? What?
The guy was not so messy that the place under the false bottom of his drawer collected a ton of dust.
I don't know, man. I'm fishing.
Yeah.
Anyways, what does the
yeah.
goddamn note say?
It says, "Brother, I am afraid Vedes did not take it well. I do not know when I will be able to write again. Love, Hadwin."
What was the first name?
Vedes, Vedes.
Dear Thaddeus, it did not go well. I won't be able to write again.
Oh,
And
he
then the
said,
other
he said, brother, I'm afraid Vetus did not take it well.
Thetis.
Yeah,
That's the name of the Prelon that was killed.
correct. So this is evidence that there was some kind of connection between Golwill and Vetus prior to the murder. And it is now 11:30 here. I think 1:30 where Kinney is. We are gonna
Yes.
call it for the night and come back next week to see what you guys do with this information.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, good job, everyone.
Yay.
You guys, you made some headway on this mystery. I'm excited to see what happens next time. Yeah, so this is Mistborn. Hopefully we learn the system a little better between now and next week, but I think we did all right.
Yeah.
And next week we should have our fourth player with us. There was supposed to be one of the Matts was supposed to be with us tonight, but something came up, so we should be adding him in for next week. Thank you to Cody and Sarah and Kenny for playing with us.
Yeah.
Kenny, it's good to see you and speak with you for, I think, the first time in probably 25 years. But yeah. This is cool. So we'll see everyone in a week. Oh, and Friday for our regular 5th edition Shadows of Arconia game from which the channel takes its name, we will be doing a one-shot there as well this week. So we're still on a little bit of a hiatus from the main campaign over there due to absences and so forth. So we'll see everyone for that, and then back here next Monday for more Mistborn.
Woohoo.
Awesome.
Farewell.
All right.